Okay, so the last time we got this super simple code to turn on an LED indicator light when the rolling stock passed in front of an IR sensor. Spurred on by my simple success, I'm expanding my code out to 2 LED indicators, a simple way to tell me when a train enters the hidden track from either the west or the east, and the second sensor will also tell me when I've reached a stopping point so I can throw the switches and have a second train pass the first one on the passing siding. Some quick notes on the physical setup. Because we have twice as many sensors and LEDs, I'm going to move to the breadboard for prototyping. We start by pulling the 5 volts and ground from the Aurdino to the common rails on the breadboard. Now I'll just plug the white connectors from each sensor into the ground on the breadboard, and the darker connectors, a black and a gray, from the sensor to the 5-volt rail. The IR sensor that's on our left, we're going to call our west sensor, and that'll be plugged into pin number 2. And the east sensor on the right is plugged into pin number 3. I also added a 220 ohm resistor to each LED to keep them from burning out. Moving the LEDs out to the breadboard, I'm using pin number 8 for the left side or west side and pin number 9 for the right or eastern side. The sensors were propped up on some cork and taped in place like I did the last time, and that gets them at the right height where they're going to be in their signal boxes. And now it's time to code. All right, here we are in the Arduino sketch, a real simple sketch as you can see that I wrote. And in the beginning, we declare 2 constant integers for the IR sensor on the west side and the east side and set up those pins. And then the same thing on the LED on the west side and the LED on the east side. And I'm using constant integers because those pin assignments are not going to change. Void setup, pretty simple. We start with a serial begin, setting a baud rate so that the computer and the Arduino can talk to each other. And then we come in for some pin modes. On the IR sensors, we set those up as inputs because we're expecting to get a reading from them to tell us what's going on. And then the pin modes for the LEDs are outputs because we're going to react to what the sensors are seeing and turn off or turn on the LED lights on the appropriate side. And then we come into the void loop, which runs constantly. And the first thing you're going to see is we're setting up 2 new integers, and these are variables. We're calling it sensor west, which is just digitally reading what's on the west pin or the west sensor, what is it doing. And the east sensor, or sensor east, sorry, is digitally reading what's on the IR east sensor. And we're doing this so that we can store that value and do something with it. And then we come into this first if statement, and we just check, is sensor west low or high? If it's high, that means there's nothing in front of it. If it's low, that means something is reflecting the IR energy back to the receiver, and it's setting that pin to low. So in that case, we're saying, hey, I've detected something, a boxcar, an engine, parts of the train, whatever car is going by. So I need to set the west pin or the west LED pin to high, i.e. turn it on. Otherwise, or else, we're going to write the pin low, which will keep the LED off. And then we'll do the same thing on the east side. If it's low, turn the east side pin on. If it's high, turn the LED pin off. Here we'll compile the sketch. Everything looks good. I got to plug in the Arduino. Cool, and then we'll upload it. And we're done. Over on the Arduino, we should be seeing the lights flicker, and then we will just watch the boxcar go back and forth and turn on and off the lights. Anyway, I think I have a basic code that will do what I need it to do. So now it's time to take it from the prototype and work out how to hardwire this and add it to my existing control box. But that's something that we'll do in the near future. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider a like and a subscribe. And as always, happy model railroading.